So real quick, who knows what real quick with me? I want to talk about shapes and what they really mean in the sport of gymnastics. Because what I often see in many programs across the country is that everybody like knows the information, or everybody knows the shapes. Everybody knows hollow and arch, dish, right? Everybody knows hollow and arch. Everybody knows C shape. Everybody knows flexion extension, right? Flexion, flexion extension. Sorry, flexion extension. Yet you go across, and those are correct. You must be hollow. Lower back on the ground, press in the ground. Correct positions, good form. You always hear it, but then you go and you see the complete opposite. Shoulders on the ground, open chest for a hollow, heads pinched. You just do this, and then the back is up, and then the feet come up, kind of like this. And ain't no hollow going on. And first of all, so before we even get into the use and the function of the shape, let's establish a shape first. So something as simple as this, and this is what I always say. I tend to say this with any gymnast I'm working with, especially a new program or something like that. And it's always just a good reminder is that I use the analogy of a ball, like a basketball or a soccer ball, something like that. Which one rolls better or more efficiently? Which one bounces more efficiently? An inflated ball or a deflated ball? Obviously, we know the question or the answer to that is an inflated ball will do a better job at that. Now, let's take a look at the quality. Ooh, here's that word, quality of that inflation versus deflation of that structure. Do I have anything around me to give that example? Let's see, I got this guy, okay, and I need something else. Oh, there's a cat. Come here, cat. And hold on, I'm almost there. Stay with me. I might need to run upstairs. Or maybe I can just use a rope. Good old. Nope. Look at me. Look at me. Watch me. Ooh. All right. Eesh. So, ball. Gymnast. Shape. Watch. Movement. I don't want to break the table. You see? Ooh. Now look. Quality of shape. If you follow this shape, if you follow that shape, it is so smooth, so even, not a flaw in its process, in its image. You see how smooth that is? So, and it's filled up. So the moment something touches it, it's resisting, it's pushing, it's expanding out. It's expanding out from its center. It's expanding in all directions. It's inflated, right? It's functional. This is not. This is deflated. If you can see, yes, it has on this surface. Now check this out. You can even get lost in a gymnast. They can have the image of it, but once they place a movement on it, you can see all this deformation of character. The quality of this changes. You can't easily change the quality of this. You see, there's the difference. So, quality of shape. If the shape doesn't have the quality that leans towards rolling and bouncing, rebounding, then it quite literally defeats the purpose of pursuing any further gymnastic movement or skills. The whole skill development. Oh, she's working on this. She's not working on anything. Oh, she's been doing this. No, she's been doing nothing for however many summers or months until she or he, said person, addresses the quality of their body. So a C shape, so these shapes, a hollow, and an arch. Let me rewind this a bit. Okay, so you need those shapes in order to create this movement. Now, a hollow and arch only become effective in the sport of gymnastics when you apply momentum to it. So, like I said, I can show the best shape ever, but if it's not moving, if it's not moving, we can't do gymnastics. So it's not the skills that matter. It's not the try, it's like a sinful word, the try that matters. It's the awareness of self. It's the understanding of the shapes. It's the understanding of how they work, the function of the shapes, not just the look, the image of them. Because a bodily shape without movement in the sport of gymnastics is no gymnastics, unless, of course, unless it's a static hold. But it seems that gymnastics is more than just a static hold. And even in those static holds, if the quality of shape isn't there, meaning it's hard for me to change this shape. No matter what I do to this, yeah, I can kind of bend it, but it's going to return. But bend it, and it returns to its integrity, original integrity. We need this in gymnastics. Then we need to take this stationary, stagnant structure, hollow, arch, right? Hollow and arch, the yin yang that completes the shape, the oneness, the trifecta. Once we complete this and stabilize this, 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 then we're on to some gymnastics. And in fact, the gymnastics itself becomes bars. It literally becomes into existence. All of a sudden, the backflip, happens. When we apply momentum, you see that? To these shapes. Momentum, and it bounces up and over. Ricochet. It's interesting how the lack of awareness, the lack of knowledge of that idea right there completely destroys people's pursuit of the competitive aspect of gymnastics. Now, in another talk, I was saying that competitive gymnastics isn't for everyone. I think it can be if you're exposed to and taught the right way, meaning the right way, the truth of what gymnastics is and the movement and what's required of it and what these shapes mean. So there's meaning behind this stuff. It's not opinion. It's it's not even, oh, I was taught this way. Regardless of the way that you were taught, especially if you're in the coaching realm, regardless of the way you were taught and how you always did it, you need to be open to new information, new ways, or whether it's new, just a broader, deeper understanding of it. I mean, are you wanting to go outside again? I just let you in. It's about to rain, homegirl. I forgot what I was saying. Regardless, understand the shapes, understand their function, and then your athletes will start to move with a certain professionalism that's taught to the elites, or that is, not taught to the elites, is built from the ground up, really. But you'll start to see these things. So I can take, excuse me, I can take a kid who constantly tumbles back and throws back, and then get them to understand how objects work and how things move in nature and on the street and how you see them in life. Like, what's it like when you bounce in? You're walking in the hallway and you bounce, and hit somebody's shoulder. Is it pop pop? There's there's a contact. These kinds of things, when explained, really when broken down, how objects affect each other and the quality of how certain quality of certain objects affect each other, so this ball bouncing into a getting launched into a flag or a curtain is not going to have the same response or reaction to this ball, this quality lacrosse dense rubber ball won't bounce off that same curtain as it will a concrete wall. Boom, immediate reaction. So we get to understand how forces work and how to then we tune, and that really is like find that station. It's really static over here. It's really distorted. The movement is distorted. What is going on? What's happening? It's distorted. Make the movements much more clear. Clear up the shapes. Clear up the quality, and all of a sudden you clear up the tumbling. In a turn, they can go from experiencing their typical looseness, and you go, oh, that kid's incapable, that kid will never, oh goodness, all because you can't explain to them how things work. You're only telling them what you know, and that's not everything. But if you can explain to somebody how something works, your knowledge is now coupled with their knowledge and experience, and together you get a whole new experience, a whole new, well, transformation of quality and of movement. You have improved gymnastics all of a sudden, you know what I mean? So always be willing to look for the cause, the source of a problem. We'll talk about that another time. Peace.